Mark Haynes doing stuff. Welcome to the channel. Thanks for being here. Alright, so let's get into it. It is the holiday season once again, and I've been really trying to get into the Christmas spirit this year, and one of the best ways for me to get into the spirit is to watch Christmas movies. So I thought it'd be cool to make a video discussing my top 10 favorite Christmas movies of all time. And I decided I'm not going to include the really short ones. Like, I do like the Grinch, like the 30-minute thing, and I like the Charlie Brown Christmas, and then I like some of the different claymation stuff, but I'm not going to include any of that. I'm just going to do like full-length feature films of my top 10 favorite Christmas movies. So let's get into it. How could anybody make a list of Christmas movies and not include Home Alone? It's a classic, all-time classic. It has a great cast, Macaulay Culkin, that really brought him into superstardom back in the early 90s when it was made. I love the other people in it too, like the cameo by John Candy, and I heard a lot of that was improvised, the lines that he said. So he was hilarious back in the day, R.I.P. to him. And just the story, I know it's a little bit cheesy, but it was just an amazing story. I thought it was brilliant, the writers and everything. The bad guys, Joe Pesci's character was amazing in that, how he put everything together. I just thought that's definitely one of my favorite movies of all time, period. And as far as Christmas movies, definitely got to be the top of the list. Then I also got to add on the sequel to that, Home Alone 2. Just great. Both these movies have some of the best one-liners that you can ever have, like Kevin, you're such a disease, and different things like that in both the movies. Me and my friends, we still recite the quotes from the movies, so you gotta have both those on the list. I feel like in Home Alone 2, Macaulay Culkin's acting is like a little bit more flat. In the first one, you could tell he was hungry, like he really wanted to make a good movie, and then by the second one, I felt like he didn't care as much and didn't put as much effort into his performance. But it's still an amazing movie. It's funny, and the story is good. So both Home Alones, top 2 on the list. All right, the next one that I want to talk about is Jingle All The Way. This has Arnold Schwarzenegger in it, which many of you probably know that he was, one of my idols growing up. So of course I wanted to see a Christmas movie that he was in. I went to see it as a kid in the theater, and I loved it. I loved Arnold. I loved the story. Just everything about the movie. It put me in the Christmas cheer. So Jingle All The Way was definitely a great movie. Oh, and it also had Sinbad in it, and he was one of the funniest guys from the 90s, and he kind of fell off now, but he was hilarious back in the day, and I'll probably do another video talking about him at some point too. The next Christmas movie that I really like is A Muppet Christmas Carol. Now, everybody knows the Charles Dickens Christmas Carol story with Ebenezer Scrooge, but I really like the Muppets version, and I know, it's a kid's movie, but I think it's great. I like Michael Caine, who plays Scrooge in it. I think he does a great job of playing Scrooge. I love how all the Muppet characters, you got Gonzo doing the narration, and just the music in it's great, and how they incorporate all the Muppets into it. I think it was kind of neat how they did that, and so that's my favorite version of the classic Charles Dickens Christmas Carol is the Muppets one. Okay, next up, It's a Wonderful Life. I know it's an older movie, but I think the story's great. It's a classic, you know, just the way the the story unfolds and how the character has so much growth, and it has a, you know, the story how it ends and everything. It usually, not afraid to admit it, it usually brings a tear to my eye. So I remember my parents watching it, you know, every Christmas Eve or Christmas Day when I was a kid, and I didn't really appreciate the movie until I got older. But It's a Wonderful Life definitely has to rank on the top 10 best Christmas movies of all time. I'm going to include Die Hard on this list. I know there's a big debate whether people feel that it's actually a Christmas movie or not, but I just recently heard somebody make the point that if you consider It's a Wonderful Life a Christmas movie, then you should also consider Die Hard one, because for It's a Wonderful Life, a lot of the movie, it's not Christmas time. So that kind of made sense to me. I also wanted to put Die Hard on here, apart because, you know, obviously it's a great movie, but I wanted to put it on because I was always a huge Bruce Willis fan, and it breaks my heart to see what's going on with him now with his medical problems, and he's not really responsive anymore. I don't think he can talk anymore. So he was always a legend in my book, and I definitely have to put a movie with him on the list, and it's also a great movie. A Christmas Story, another one that's just an absolute classic. I remember the first time I watched it, I didn't even care for it, but then, you know, as you progress and watch it several times, you know, because that one station has it on 24 hours straight, like as a loop on Christmas Day, so that really makes you kind of appreciate the movie. And it's really cute, like it's funny at points, and you know, just it puts you in the Christmas spirit because you see the build up of Christmas for this kid. It's definitely a classic, and it's definitely one that I enjoy watching every year at this time. Next up, National Lampoons Christmas Family Vacation. Chevy Chase, you know, the movie has a lot of laughs in it, and has a lot of great one-liners also. A lot of clips, like when he goes on that rant about his boss. That's like a clip you can watch over and over again, and it never stops being funny. The characters are great in it. Cousin Eddie, how he comes in, and he's like this, you know, white trash kind of backwards guy, but it's all funny, and you know how it has a happy ending, so that always puts me in the mood for Christmas. I think that's up there with one of the best Christmas movies. I also want to add, when I was a kid, I used to love these movies, Earnest movies, where it had Jim Varney, and he played this character called Ernest, and they did a Christmas one called Ernest Saves Christmas, and I remember just laughing at that as a kid, and I can't remember the movie anymore. I haven't seen it in so many years, but I remember that being, you know, one of my all-time favorite Christmas movies, so I had to add that to the list, and I'm trying to find it somewhere, but it's kind of old, and I don't know if it's considered like a classic, so a lot of streaming services don't have it on, but I'm definitely looking for that, and I want to watch that this year because I remember really cracking up to it when I was a kid. Okay, and then finishing the top 10, and I know I'm missing a lot, and it was a really tough decision because there were so many movies that I liked, but I'm going to put Bad Santa on here. But, you know, it was a tough decision, and maybe I was forgetting a lot, but I put Bad Santa on because I think it was funny, and it was pretty vulgar, though. I remember watching it when it first came out, and it does have a lot of swearing and stuff like that, but Billy Bob Thornton. He's kind of funny, and had some other people in it, that some other good comedians. So I put that on the list, and also I think it I think I did like the story pretty much with it. How him and that kid, like their relationship grows throughout the movie. So I'm gonna go with that as my top 10. So obviously, I didn't include a lot of great movies in this list. I'm sure a lot of you have strong feelings about some of the ones. Honorable mention, I would say I like Scrooged with Bill Murray. Um, White Christmas is a classic. Everyone has that on their top 10, so people will probably get mad at me for not having that on there. There was also this one Nickelodeon one, Drake and Josh did a Christmas movie, and it had Kimbo Slice in it back when he was still alive, and that was really cool too. And there's so many that I'm just not thinking of. I'm sure that were great. So you know, if I left any off the list, forgive me. But there's just so many good Christmas movies of all time. And I'd like to hear from you guys. Put in the comments, like, if you agree with my list, or if you know, tell me some of your favorite Christmas movies of all time, because I'd love to hear, what everybody thinks. So yeah, let me know. And until next time, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. I'll be doing more stuff. You're always welcome here. Thanks, and Merry Christmas.